Oh, good morning, guys. It is day 16, November the 15th, and we're headed back to the same tree we hunted yesterday evening. This spot has been really good in the mornings and not so good in the evenings, even though I had that spike chasing that doe last night. So the plan for today is to hunt till about lunchtime and then go somewhere new and go in and stand on the back, just like we've been doing, just like we did in Illinois. We hadn't really done it here. See if we can find some action. They say there's more does that get bred on and around the 15th than any other time, so there should be more does in heat right now than any other time. Maybe we can get lucky, I don't know. There's a lot of does in there. We'll be in a stand shortly. It'd be nice not hanging one this morning for a change. Well, we're in here and the sun's starting to come up. I've had deer around me all morning. Right about 5 minutes before this interview, there was a deer running around off that ridge down into the bottom, back up on that ridge. I need that sun to get up and get these thermals lifted and get that north wind we're supposed to get to push my scent up the hill. I can tell that the deer I've had around me have been very, very skittish. I think my scent's just pooling in this on this ridge and at this bottom. It's not doing much of anything, but the cold air is kind of sucking down the hill a little. It's not good. Sorry, fogging up a little bit. I know we've had colder temperatures than this, but this feels like as cold as we've had. It's very, very crisp this morning. Maybe we'll get lucky. That was pure chaos that I didn't get anything for film. I heard those deer coming off the ridge over here, and it was that big group of does from yesterday. I could hear grunting too. They were just bouncing around everywhere. I mean, they were all around me. Nothing in bow range though. And then that little spike come trotting out the road I walked in on just now. Those deer are still running around. pretty crazy. Maybe we'll get lucky. When they're trying to re-elect a presidential candidate, everybody always says 4 more years. We needed 1 more year for that deer. That deer is going to be a stud. He broke off his 2 or his 3 and his 4 on his right side. That's exactly what we need. That doe's getting ready to be in heat. He was following her step for step. He looked up at me and didn't really care. He wasn't going to leave her. I was kind of in an awkward position trying to film, so I'm sure it was a little out of focus, so know that. Hopefully a good buck cuts their trail and follows it right by the stand. We're in them. We just need the right buck to show up. We may just camp out in here until time to go home. So many does. As long as I keep seeing them, I'm happy. I think that makes about 12 deer this morning. Go on. There's always one. I've had a dozen or more deer around me, and there's always one. Guys, I know more than just put my camera on the arm. I could hear a deer running in this bottom. I just grunted a couple times, but that hasn't seemed to be very productive. Part of me feels like I need to be further out this point, but I'm really not going to know until I hunt it. I set up right here because there's some scrapes up above me, and there's a couple little road beds and benches that dump off right here. And I saw that really good buck cruising this one I'm on a few days ago. I'm in a really messed up tree. It forks. I had to level the platform all the way out and use the bat wing all the way over, and it's still not quite enough. Sticks go up the right fork and then end on the left fork, and I'm hanging on the left fork. We'll see, I guess. It's 1:45 on the dot. I totally screwed that up. There's a buck up there that was running those does. It looked too small. It looked kind of like that little 10-pointer this morning. I never saw him real good though, but he ran those does down here by me, and I thought they run plumb by me. I stood up to turn the GoPro on. They saw me. One blew once and took off. It happens, but I got the binoculars on him, and I could tell that he had a 10-point one side. It could have been the same deer. I don't know, we'll sit here and see. Got a little less than an hour left. Well, we made it back to the truck, and all in all, pretty darn good day of hunting. I couldn't tell you for certain how many deer we saw and how many different deer, but it was definitely in the neighborhood of 15. And the bad news is we had that buck or antlered doe or whatever it was this morning bust us, and it died after that. Never really saw anything other than that doe that was behind me that blew too, that I didn't know was there at the same time. And then about 12:30 I made a move out the ridge towards the point where most of these deer are filtering from or filtering to. Kind of not so much to give myself a better shot opportunity, because I was in a really good funnel and a lot of the deer were coming past the stand. But the problem was with that spot is I couldn't get a consistent wind for anything. It was like early in the mornings, my scent was just pooling in there, you know. 1 second it'd be going up the ridge, 1 second it'd be going down the ridge and out. And when I moved out towards the end of that point, I don't know how it's going to work out for shot opportunities and all that. I think it's going to be okay. But I did get a much more consistent wind. So if that holds true in the morning and it does anything close to what's forecasted, we should be alright. I don't know how much of it I got on film, but about, I don't know, hour 45 minutes before dark, there was a buck that was pushing two does, and pushed the two does off the hill right in front of me. And I saw the one go off the edge of the ridge, and I just assumed that they both did. And I got binoculars on the buck, and he had it looked like a 10-pointer, but he looked like a 2-year-old. Couldn't get a great look at him. I couldn't see both sides at one time, but I got to see both sides, and he looked like a 10-pointer, real similar to the one that come under the stand in the morning, but he still was intact. He hadn't broken off his right side. So, but I stood up to turn the GoPro on because I knew that deer was going to follow those same trails as does, and one of the does hadn't crested the ridge and blew. which I think that's the first time with that camera. It may have cost me an opportunity, but I don't think it was a deer I was going to shoot. Almost 99% sure it wasn't. But then as I was walking out, I hung a trail camera at the beginning of that logging road, and I stopped to check it. And I could hear some pretty deep grunting and chasing going on down on the bottom. We're in deer, and I think we're where we need to be. I just think that those two good bucks that I saw, I guess that was the 12th. I mean, by now they've been on does. They found one. There's so many does in there. They'll probably hold up with one of them. All we can hope for is with all those does and new bucks showing up every day. I've seen different bucks every day. I mean, we just need that one of them to be a 3-year-old or better. I don't think that's too far-fetched to happen. With the amount of deer, the amount of does, and the amount of different bucks I've been seeing, I don't think that's that far-fetched. I just don't know, is it going to happen in the next day and a half? As of right now, my plan is to hunt all day tomorrow and then the morning on Sunday and then head home. But we'll see how it goes from there. But I'm going to go get some food, get some rest. I've been exhausted for the last few days. Later.